Hello and welcome to the second episode of Tutorial Analysis. In this miniseries we take a closer look at one of my favorite games, Dark Souls. Prepare to die. We want to start a new game. Character creation. Neat. I expected a cutscene to set the mood, but let's create a character. What do we have here? At first glance there are some options to customize a character. A portrait of said one on the right, a lot of text and numbers on the left, and a little display box in the middle. Well, we just begin and see what's what. Enter name. Why has every option a description in front but the name? The first thing we're about to maintain. Sure, it says enter name at the top, but still, why is the only faulty option the first, the one where it really should not be? But okay, enter our name. Okay, let's see. Wait. Jesus. Okay. There we go. Now. Wait. Okay, sex. Nah, too easy. Class. Okay, let's choose a class. There are 10 different classes we can choose from. Just skimming through the list raises some questions. Warrior and Knight? Isn't this kind of the same thing? Isn't a Knight a warrior with a title? And what is a Wanderer? Are we able to walk for a long time and have the ability to acquire very sturdy footwear? Thief and Bandit? Both are criminals. I guess the one stays in the hedge whilst the other one jumps out? I don't know. Every class has a small description that should help to clear things up, right? Fearless Warrior. Weapon expert. High strength, dexterity. Okay, what does fearless mean? Weapon expert I get. What is strength and dexterity? I guess for the usage of weapons? Low ranking knight. Is that good? Is that bad? Is that relevant at all? Aimless wanderer? Are we actually going for a walk? Bow wielding hunter? Okay at close range? Nothing is okay. I'm clearly over-exaggerating here, but in the end, there is a kernel of truth. We are being bombarded with a shit ton of information, and neither is anything explained, nor do we have any context. There was no cutscene or text-based introduction. There was no monologue, nothing that could provide us with information and context. The question at hand is, why are there so many classes? Here's my explanation. Every class has a
particular set of skills.
Is required to be able to wear and wield the equipment that is needed to fulfill the chosen path. More health is a result of higher vitality. A bow for an archer requires dexterity, or a catalyst for a sorcerer requires intelligence. Here we face another important aspect about Dark Souls. Almost all items are fixed, meaning they are always to be found in the same place, dropped by the same enemies, or sold by the same vendor. So it is possible to spend a lot of time with unfit equipment before we find an item that allows us to, for example, cast a spell or pyromancy. And even then we might not fit the stat requirements and have to work towards them, taking even more time. So if we choose a sorcerer and didn't start with a catalyst to cast spells, we might spend a frustrating amount of time stabbing enemies with the butter knife, because that is the only weapon we are able to wield. To prevent such a scenario, we start with specific items and the required stats. This results in a flood of different classes. In principle, we have 3 types: Warrior, Rogue and Mage. Warrior is divided into Balanced, Tank and Damage. Rogue into Assassin, kind of Duelist, and Archer. Mage into Sorcery, Miracle and Pyromancy. And then there is Deprived, which is everything but nothing. So let's just start with a simple warrior. So now we know why there are so many classes, because of the items and specific stat requirements. But when we start the game for the first time, what are we supposed to do with the stats, given we don't have any information yet? There's no description what does. We could deduce, for example, strength increases our physical power, but what benefits do we actually derive from that? We don't know yet that we need certain stats to properly use a weapon. It's not just that we deal less damage, no, we actually aren't able to use this weapon. Furthermore, there are stats I have no idea what they might do. What is attunement for? What does humanity mean? Seriously, I cannot even come up with a dumb joke. There is no context whatsoever. But here's a weird thing. Once we finish the tutorial, we gain the ability to level up our character. And in this screen, there's actually a button to toggle a description for all the fields. We can get a lot of information that could help us making a decision when creating a character. So I'm wondering, why is this option not available in the character creation screen? Okay, we decided on a class. Now we proceed with gifts. We can choose one out of a list of 9 items we like to start the game with. Or rather 8, because the first one is literally nothing. I guess they included a version for people who mind the reciprocity of gift giving. The second one is quite clear. Goddess Blessing is a divine holy water which fully restores hit points. And status. Okay, status is a bit cloudy. Advanced gamer senses might think of ailments like burning or poisoned. The next one tends to drift away a little bit. A black firebomb explodes upon impact when thrown. Okay, it is a throwing weapon that has to hit something to explode. Makes sense, but more deadly than standard bomb? How deadly is a standard bomb? Again, frame of reference. And why do we get the Mark II item as a starting gift? Shouldn't we learn how to handle the small caliber before we fire the big guns? Next is Twin Humanities. What is humanity? We saw it already as a stat. Is this the to-go version? Binoculars? Are we spying on someone? Are we bird watching? Pendant? No effect. Why? But fond memories comfort travelers? Wait, isn't that an old witch ring with no obvious effect? We haven't even started the game yet. Old witch ring, why not? One thing we haven't addressed yet is the item overview. First of all, this window is way too small. What is it supposed to represent? What is the purpose of it? We have to ask ourselves the question, what information do we gain from having this? The answer is almost none. We can see nearly everything like armor and weapon and action on the huge character image. Things we don't see on the character, but on the overview, we have no idea what they are. What is this stick? And what are those 30 out of 30 blue sticks? We might understand that some classes come with additional items, but what they are, we don't know. I thought about if there is a possibility to use a display option like with the stats. The in-game item overview shows short descriptions for items like the firebombs or rings. But when it comes to armor and weapons, it becomes cryptic again without the possibility to toggle through the details. What would be too much for the character creation, in my opinion? And at this point, I'm asking myself, do we really need to know what all this is? We just started the game. Why are we being flooded with so much information? Why can't we just pick a class and go on with it? I reckon the majority of players base their choice on the class design, which is most apparent in the picture. Okay, onwards with physique. Nothing to complain here. I like how the description for very large is serious presence. That is such a nice euphemism. Top heavy. Large head. Could be very intellectual. That is hilarious. It is so random at times. It seems someone just yelled in the room, "What are people with large heads like? Aren't they very intelligent?" Faces. Some presets, some descriptions. Very average commoner face. How can something be very average? That sounds a little insulting. Speaking of, Dragon Scholar. Intelligent, sharp lines, but scholarly looks invite insults. What? Why is looking smart a reason for being insulted? Look at the smart one with the intelligent sharp face. We are a commoner. Next up is hairstyle. Pretty self-explanatory. Cleanly shaved, bald. Rough warrior hair shows age, clipped short with slight wave, long hair pulled back and bound, natural long hair extended by sweat, natural long hair accented by sweat. Yes! And then color. Ooh, something purple. And customize. What's this? Here we can fine-tune the appearance of a character. I could have some fun tinkering with this, but it is only cosmetic and not relevant for our sake. I can't believe it. We are actually about to start the game.